Hello and welcome to the Dinosaw for week 20, another 7 curious interesting things I saw last week. Before we crack on, as ever, Skylab's logo at the top. This may be one of the last dinosaurs coming from Skylab, so if you would like your logo there in the future, he says with a twinkle in his eye, do get in touch, LinkedIn, etc. Maybe an opportunity coming up soon. However, on to the first one. This is TidyBots. Love this. This is probably the most practical thing you will see this week. Now, why is a robot on the Dinosaw? Love robots anyway, but this is using large language models to learn as it goes. So what better than laundry, i.e. tidying up as well. What it's doing is using large language models. So the same sort of tech behind ChatGPT and all those kind of really interesting sort of forward-thinking generative AI things you're seeing at the moment. So it learns the way that you are, well, the way that you tidy. So one person's sock drawer is another person's pants drawer, etc. You can quote me on that, I guess. But using large language models for robotics so that they can actually be more adaptive to their environment is a really interesting way of doing it as well. So this is a really good use. So apparently it's 91% accurate. So as I say here, it's probably that 9% of inaccuracy that explains where your spare socks go. There you go, TidyBots. Google had a big event where they announced loads of stuff, and of course they're using generative AI in their search and all those sorts of good stuff as well. And language models. Geospatial is something that they talked about with a tie-up with Adobe. So this is Adobe Aero. If you've not used Aero before, definitely go and download it. You can download it on your phone or you can download it as a desktop app. And what it allows you to do is create really, really simple drag and drop augmented reality experiences. So if you have a 3D model or an image or something like that you'd like to place around you, it allows you to do that. So with this latest hookup, which is with Google technology with their Geospatial API, i.e. Google Mapping, you can now go to anywhere in the world, you can bring in the Google map from that place in the world, and then you can start overlaying it with your items using Adobe Aero. So I've seen some really good experiments over the weekend on this one. This is actually by Billy FX, this video you're seeing right now. So it's a bit of a walkthrough how to do it, really useful. So I'll put the links down below. But if you're interested in playing around with augmented reality and you're thinking, I can't code, this is exactly for you. Good one. Want to see more of those? I think this is brilliant. This was sent to me by my daughter, and there's a couple of things that are really interesting things here. So this is Lily, and she is making things, crocheting things using ChatGPT as the input. So asking for a pattern using ChatGPT. Now ChatGPT is a large language model. Crocheting patterns are essentially just another form of language, just as music is, just as coding is. So therefore it's more than happy to generate those. So when you ask it for something, it pulls together something, and she's just crocheting it blind. Just going, I will follow the instructions and see what comes out. So there's some brilliant things. So there was a frog that was immense. You can see Pikachu was kind of curious. Totoro was one of my favourites, as is the Moomin that hopefully will appear at some point. But again, one of the points behind this is how are artists using artificial intelligence on top and to augment their work as well. So you've heard a lot about, you know, augmented reality or lots of sort of technologies that artists are using, but also generative AI that's potentially taking work away from artists as well. But you can work with it and you can create really interesting results, not only creative here, but also creating video content as well. There you go, that Moomin is brilliant. So thank you very much. There you go. Niantic have launched I think it's their second only IP, so you will know them from things like Pokemon Go or Harry Potter. So those are using other people's brands to do their good stuff and their technology. This is kind of since way back in the early days. This is the first thing they've actually come up with themselves. So it's kind of a Tamagotchi meets Pokemon Go technology. Will it be a hit? I'm not sure, to be absolutely honest, but it's got some really cool stuff in there. You essentially Peridot, by the way, these are called dots, these little characters. So you hatch your dot and then you can sort of pet it basically. So just like a Tamagotchi. Only kind of problem is once you've hatched one, you can go and hatch another one, but it's all paywalled and it's all a little bit like, you know, somebody's been doing an Excel spreadsheet on this in the background to make money. Within a week, you kind of run out of things to do. So I've been playing with it. It's kind of cool and everything, but yeah, it's got really interesting occlusion on there as well, so it can start to put things behind things, which you didn't really see in the first version of Pokemon Go. So if you're interested in this sort of thing, if you want a virtual pet, then go and download Peridot. I thought it was Peridot, but it's Peridot. This is a really interesting research out of Ohio State, and it's using satellite signals to locate you on the Earth. Now, normally what you would use is geostationary satellites or GPS, and they would all ping out a time signal, and their whole purpose is to allow you to listen to those signals and locate yourself through triangulation on the Earth. So this one is actually just using normal signals from normal satellites, so low Earth orbit satellites, or LEOs as they're known. You can listen to any satellite. It can be a broadcast satellite, it can just be doing whatever it is, you know, basically something that's looking at, say, mapping. So you listen to these things and it can locate you within about 5 meters. So you need about eight satellites and about 10 minutes, but it's got sort of really good accuracy. So why is this useful? Well, we're hearing quite a lot of hacks of GPS, or at least sort of getting in the way of GPS signals and spoofing the signals. If you spoof a GPS signal and your boat does not dock, or your cargo does not get through, or your aeroplane doesn't land, this is now becoming pretty fundamental to society. So having other ways for especially mobile users to have trust in their location is becoming more and more important. So that's really interesting research. Google talking about having really interesting and useful things. I've talked about this. Anybody who's been in the room with me will know I will bore them to tears with how I think software and hardware manufacturers especially can put little signals in images and content to let you know it has been essentially fiddled with other things, AI or whatever, or manipulation. So Google are now introducing about this image, or at least an expansion on the about this image. So if you go to an image in Google, it will be, I think, only US at the moment, and it'll be rolling out soon. But if you go to Google Images, for instance, click on the 3 dots, you will then get about this image. It will tell you an extra 3 things. So where the image came from, so the first instance of where this image came from, when it first appeared as well, and what other sites currently, or what other places is it being seen at the moment. So you can sort of give yourself some armory about where this image might be doing the rounds. So I think that's a really good thing. I personally think it should be more visible. So I would love to see some sort of red dot to say, hey, this is a slightly sort of, let's say, spicy image right now on the internet. There's a lot of stuff going around with it. Or it's a blue dot. You know, don't worry about this. This is normal. So I think there's more work to be done, but I like where that's going. And finally, we have, the reason I thought this was interesting is because we've seen quite a lot of stuff where computers are coming for humans' jobs, mimicking what humans do. And thank goodness we've got Mythical Rocket here, typing at 290 something, wherever we come up to the end, 290 something words a minute, which I think is phenomenal. 293 words a minute with 97% accuracy. Obviously we've got to get it to 100% accuracy, but way to go, you know, giving it back to the computers and basically beating them at their own job, sort of. By the way, that's 4.6 words a second. Now I'm a hunt and pecker with my fingers, so that's no way I'll ever get near that. However, there you go. Well done to Mythical Rocket. Hopefully that was useful. Hopefully it was interesting. As I said at the beginning, if you would like your adventure to have a dino in it, then do let me know. LinkedIn is probably the best place to do that. Other than that, I will see you next week.